If you saw what I was talking about last week, the lack of cyber self-esteem as one of the main problems, something that's really frustrating me, this lack of confidence that you or we, cybersecurity defenders, can actually make a difference, actually improve posture. And I get it. Talent deficit, deploy and decay, encounters you've had where you just didn't feel like maybe part of the business was buying into your efforts and your agenda. But one of my favorite books is Essentialism. Just read it for the first time a few months ago, already almost done reading it again, second time. And, I was listening to the actual audiobook last night and, talking about you got to do the hardest thing first. You got to focus on the hardest thing first. And I feel like with a lot of security teams, and this applies to all of us, myself, etc., in terms of working for a corporation, a company, you get in, you start doing email and trying to knock out these little things. But if you think about security, maybe you do have a bigger goal, a re-architecture, a cultural change, adding some more automation or restructuring your team or your process and your workflow. Can you, when you show up at work, and this could be the senior leader, this could be the level one, more entry level type person, can you focus on the hardest thing first? Can you focus on something that's more leveraged, that's more strategic, more long term? Even if you can spend half an hour actually working on plans, brainstorming how to improve things, etc., and then start doing things like responding to alerts or going to meetings, etc. Because by the end of the day, and guess what, we all know it, when you say, yeah, in the afternoon I'll get to that bigger task, that more strategic task, you'll never get to it, and then you'll punt it to the next day, etc. And this is what they're talking about in Essentialism as one of the points is you gotta put the time in early, and then it starts becoming a habit. So then you have time every day where you're working on something that's a little bit more leveraged, a little bit more strategic. Could be hunting, could be figuring out how to harden more, could be sitting down with IT and discussing how to remove admin rights. Whatever it is, sets time aside early, first thing, even if it's 30 minutes, to work on something bigger. If we start doing that, all of us, then we start actually making progress towards the bigger tasks, the bigger projects, the more leveraged items. So I hope you think about that this week, because we have to start thinking about how do we get rid of this self-esteem deficit. And part of that is we have to make progress on the big projects, on the big tasks.